Hello everyone, and welcome to a long-awaited video about this year's 2024 San Francisco Fountain Pen Show. It was a fantastic time, and I tried to record as much of it as possible to share with you the amazing experience that the show was this year. Sorry for the slight delay in getting this together. There was a whole thing with, I sort of messed up transferring the footage to my computer, but I was able to fix it, and now I am hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be releasing this on Fountain Pen Day 2024, which is November 1st. So if that's the case, happy Fountain Pen Day. So the San Francisco Fountain Pen Show is a yearly show held usually in late August every year around San Francisco. It used to be held in Redwood City. Now it's held in Millbrae, which is just south of San Francisco and conveniently right next to the San Francisco airport. Although I flew into San Jose because it's closer to my family. It's a really great show that's held every year, and one of the notable things about it is that it garners a lot of international attention, especially vendors from Asia are much more able to come to the San Francisco show as opposed to the DC show or other shows on the East Coast, which are popular but don't have quite as much of a variety of international vendors. So first, it was off to the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, riding the link there, which is honestly the most convenient way to get there. It's a really beautiful airport. I sat in like the main little part of the terminal, did some reading before my flight, and watched the planes fly off into the distance. And then it was San Jose International after a quick 2-hour flight. Coming back home, seeing all the billboards about AI and stuff like that. Yep, we're in Silicon Valley. Alright, we're at the show. Let's go inside. Here you can see the Westin on the right and the Aloft on the left. Both have show rates. And here's the crowd right at the beginning. Friday morning, early. The first order of business was to walk around the show, sort of say hello to other people that I haven't seen in a year. Obviously, one of the first stops is at Ian Schoen's table with Schoen Design. Some amazing colors, cool designs this year. No new pen models this year, but still some really cool stuff. Next, of course, I had to check out Cusado's table. They had some really interesting offerings this year, including a new pen model which they launched at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show earlier this year in Portland. Also, I had to check out Annabelle's Symphony nibs, made by hand, out of silver. Just insane stuff. They also had a limited edition model of the Kakari, which was sort of an alloy of 3 different metals, with a very long name that I am a little afraid to pronounce, but it looked absolutely amazing. And of course, here's me trying out that Symphony nib. I'll shut up so you can watch it in action. I mean, just super cool. A very, very nice writing experience. And frankly, just a wholly unique writing experience as well. Of course, I also got to try out a 3-layer nib that was made by CY. Apologies for the aspect ratio, but I filmed this vertically. Alright, I am all checked into the hotel room. I've only made one purchase so far. That's the... This is the new pen from Cusado. What's it called? It's essentially the same as the Cusado Kakari, but it's got facets on the cap. So, I don't know, it's just cool. Doesn't quite roll around as much, you know. Yeah. The other thing I did have a appointment with Annabelle from Opus Cineris to fix up this Omas Paragon. It was a bit of a problem child. It was a dry writer in some ways and then super wet in other ways. It was super inconsistent, not really that fun to write with. And she fixed it up real good. I was really impressed with the work she did. She's great. So yeah, good first few hours. Time to relax and maybe get some lunch, but it's pretty crazy out there. It's pretty crowded. More crowded than Friday last year, I think. But they also have a few more rooms than last year open for people. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just trying to get the lay of the land and explore. So let's get right back to it. Here's the view from the room. Yeah, you know, it's a parking lot, 101 and a bit of Millbrae, but I like the weather. One thing you'll notice is the parking. It's not great. it's the same problem as last year. Last year was the first time they were in this hotel, and and the parking was just a nightmare after Friday. Today it seems like it got full around 10 a.m. on Friday, which is before the main 2 days. This morning I got here at around 8:45, and there were probably like 30 parking spaces left. So it was like probably 80% full. That's a big contrast to where the show used to be at the Hotel Pullman in Redwood City. They had like a massive 4-story parking garage, and it really never seemed to fill up, so it wasn't really an issue. But yeah, it's been a big issue. It was an issue last year. I don't think they've really done anything to fix it this year. Basically, anytime anyone wants to go for a meal, that either have to walk there or like take an Uber or something, or else they're going to lose their parking spot and not be able to park their car. So it's too bad. There's like a Caltrain stop and a BART stop, but those are all like a 25-minute walk away. So I drove up here as well. Yeah, hopefully it's something they can fix next year, because it seems like it's basically the same problem as last year. Then it was off to explore some more of the show. My next stop was at Newton Pens. Sean Newton does an absolutely fantastic job with so many different types of custom pens. It was really great to talk to Sean Newton. I've been following his work for a really long time, and I am a massive fan of what he does. And this Prospector that I got is just a beautiful pen. Amazing red ebonite, and the finish is just, I've never seen an ebonite pen look this shiny or feel this good in the hand. It's an amazing pen. This Prospector, I would really recommend people, if you can go to like a pen club meeting or something to try it out. It's really unique, and I highly recommend it. After that, I knew the table that I had to go to was Leonardo Officina Italiana, because I know recently they've been bringing some really fantastic special editions and special prices to the shows they've been going to, and I had to check it out. As you can see here, the thing I was really interested in, they had a bunch of different celluloids, including some of their own new in-house custom-made celluloids, which I was just absolutely blown away by. Here is their version of Arco Verde celluloid. I think it is absolutely beautiful, and hopefully I'll get a pen in it someday. There's Salva there tuning up, heat setting an ebonite feed for someone who bought a pen. It was really great to meet Salva in person. You can just tell how passionate he is about fountain pens. And it was great to pick his brain a little bit and just to finally meet him, because I don't think he'd ever been to a San Francisco show before. Out of all of the celluloid offerings that Leonardo had brought to the show, one particularly caught my eye. It was a celluloid I have been trying to get a pen in for quite some time, and it was this pen right here. This is a Leonardo Furore Grande in Omos Wild celluloid. There's really nothing quite like wild celluloid out there. It's just such a unique material. The black and the white just creates a really stunning contrast that really only celluloid can do in this way. And yeah, it is a very striking pen. And also, oh yeah, you can smell the camphor smell of that celluloid. That is really something. Next, it was time to visit Anderillium Inks. They have some really amazing colors. It was really great to meet the folks from Anderillium Inks. Their show ink for the year was Golden Gate Vermilion, which I really like. It's a pretty unique ink in my collection. I don't have a lot of reds or oranges, but this one really caught my eye. And of course, it captures the Golden Gate really well. I'm a big fan of big bridges like that, especially the Golden Gate being from the Bay Area. So it was really great to pick up that ink. I also got to talking to them about a discount code that I could share for their website. So if you use Bernal10, BRNAL 10, you get 10% off on their website. So feel free to use that if you want. It was really cool that I got to set that up with them. Then another table that I was glad to visit, and one that I knew a purchase was very likely at, was Skogsy Pens. Seeing Zach from Skogsy Pens at this year's show was really great. I got to meet him at last year's show, and this time he brought a pen that really caught my eye in this lovely micarta material. Just, I think really the perfect color, just a deep like tan brown, really complements the sort of natural feeling of the material. And the sort of small but not quite too small size of the pen fits really nice in the hand. And then I just kept exploring around the show for the rest of the day and saying hi to people. As you can see, even it being Friday, only reserved for the show pass holders, it was still extremely crowded. People were sort of squeezing by people every which way. But yeah, really amazing turnout for the Friday. And you can see the parking lot was absolutely crammed. And then after the show, it was time for dinner. So the bulk of the damage was done on day one. I got the Cuseta Kosumi, the Newton Prospector, the Leonardo Ferrari Grande, and the Skogsy. I think it was the Hoya model, Cholla. I think that's the one that I got. So yeah, quite a lot of damage done on the first day. But after the first day, it turns into night, and that lends itself to Pen Show After Dark, which is definitely a lot of fun, sort of seeing people around the bar, exchanging pens, letting people try out all your stuff. I brought some pretty unique pens. I tried to bring some cool flex nibs, some cool materials just to have people try them out. And it was a lot of fun to talk to people that I had never met before. There are a lot of people from like Instagram, from the Pen Addict Slack that I know online but hadn't met in person before, so it was really cool to talk to them. Okay, then waking up bright and early for day 2, which is the Saturday. You get a couple of hours if you're a all access pass holder before the show is open to the public, and I made sure to take advantage of that by going around to some of the tables I hadn't been able to visit on day 1 so that I could get there before the crowds really got in. But you can see, as soon as I think it was 10 a.m. hit, the lines were insane. It went all the way from the registration area, all the way through the lobby, as you can see here, all the way back to the Starbucks, and it only got longer after I took this video. The line was truly insane. Nothing like it the past couple years, which was really great to see, but also a little scary for, just wondering how much capacity the hotel can hold, really. And yeah, the parking was even crazier than it was on Friday. Friday was already full, so Saturday, with so many more people coming and not many people realizing the parking situation, cars were just constantly circling and stuck in the parking lot for several hours. One of the great things about the show is all the different types of cool stationery, which is really cool to check out. Flax from Los Angeles was there. It was always nice to say hi to them and see what they brought. There were also some absolutely fantastic stuff at the Enigma stationery table. Of course, they have some really cool pens and inks, but also some great little accessories as well. Some hilarious plushes and pins and stuff like that. One of the tables that was new to the show was Fountain Pendulum, who made some really great pen rests and ink sample vial holders and stuff like that. It was also cool to see Rob's Penworks. Rob has a really great Instagram page, and we've been friends on there for a very long time. Now, on Saturday night, I got to talking with Ned of Ned's Hobby Photography on Instagram. He has some absolutely insane collections, many different kinds of celluloid, but he was looking to offload some of his pens. And one that really caught my eye was a pen that I really did not expect to ever even lay my eyes upon. And we did a little trade. So this was the pen that I got. It is a Oldwin in Arco Verde celluloid. I mean, just a dream come true. I've been trying to get a pen in Arco Verde for ever and ever. And it's really difficult. It's much rarer than Arco Bronze and pretty pricey, but the stars align on this one, and I've really been loving this pen. Of course, the pen show was not only for pens, and there were a lot of other pen-adjacent items that it was really cool to pick up at the show. Notebooks, storage solutions, stuff like that. Of course, one of the highlights of every San Francisco Fountain Pen show is going to the Masubi table. They had a new notebook, I believe in Halus paper is what it was. They have a new notebook, which was paper that was designed to their own specifications. I'll put it up here. But I mean, their folio notebooks are fantastic. They're my notebook of choice, and I'm really happy to have this one. Usually I pick up a notebook at the show, and so then I can share from there. So it has like all of my writing from the show, which is also a nice memory to start out a notebook on. What I did bring to the show, though, I wanted to bring a lot of pens, so I had to bring some storage. This first one is the tool roll from Lockbee, which they were very kind enough to send to me, and also to provide me another discount code for y'all to use, which I believe is just Aidan Bernal, AIDANBERNAL. I think that gets 10% off on their website. I really like this one because, I mean, you can cram a lot of pens in there, but you can also sort of fit pocket notebooks in the back, like inner pocket, and then also fit like little boxes of cartridges. And because I brought a few Lamy pens, I could like bring cartridges too, which I normally don't do. So I really liked the tool roll for that solution. The other reason why it was handy was because I could put this sort of at the top of my backpack and have some easy access pens for whenever I wanted to write, just waiting for my flight. Because the other thing that I brought was a Girologio 24 pen case, which they were also kind enough to provide for me. And they also gave a discount code as well, the same one as Lockby, Aidan Bernal. And this one, I mean, this is a fantastic case. A bunch of space. I mean, it looks beautiful. The leather feels really nice. Going through TSA this was the first time that I'd ever been like, my pens had ever been flagged by a TSA officer. They sort of like opened it up and they like asked what they were, and I had to explain to them what fountain pens were. The first time that's ever happened, but thankfully it went through without a hitch. They didn't have to take anything, because I've been a really big fan of this case, honestly. One thing that I did pick up at the show were these pen rests from Fountain Pendulum. This one right here has like a magnet, and you can put your pen on the pen rest, and then it has little spots for ink sample vials, which I thought was really cool. They also just have like the straight up pen rests. And yeah, they were just really nice. They did give these to me for me to check out. But yeah, I mean, I thought all their stuff was really great. Then it was time for day 3. Day 3 was a little short for me because I had to scoot off in the morning because, had to fly home and all that stuff. But it was still very nice to say hi to those people who had really been swamped for most of the show beforehand, now that things were a little calmer on the Sunday. One of those people was Leigh Reyes, LeighPod on Instagram. I mean, she is just really a premier talent in the fountain pen community. Does absolutely amazing works of art and has a great fountain pen collection as well. And she was at the Musubi table sort of showcasing the different pieces that Musubi was selling and how they could hold up to different various styles of spreading massive amounts of ink onto paper. There was also Tamanori Studios' table. He had some really, really fantastic pieces. I don't have an Urushi lacquered pen at the moment, but I know that's going to change someday. And then here is one final walkthrough of what the show looked like on Sunday. It was a little bit calmer. Definitely things sort of wind down on a Sunday. Now, one thing about Sunday on a show is that it's a little quieter. Of course, Friday is super, super crowded of all the people with the weekend passes trying to get the stuff as early as possible that you'll have FOMO on if you don't get all the limited edition stuff. But Sunday is where it starts to calm down a bit, I mean, Saturday is probably the most crowded in general, of just people experiencing the show, all the general admission audiences. But on Sunday, it gets a little quieter. A lot of the vendors that are there selling their own collections don't really want to bring everything home. You can kind of work a few deals on Sunday as things start to slow down. And it's a really different experience. I'm sad that I really couldn't spend too much time on Sunday this year. Hopefully, maybe at a show soon, I'll be able to stick around to the actual end of the show. But the timing didn't really work out this time. But it was still nice to experience the first few hours on the Sunday and just say my goodbyes to everyone. It's just so great to see all the people that I haven't seen for a year. And yeah, it was a really great time, a really great show. And then, after all that, it was time to say goodbye. It's time to check out of the hotel and go home. Honestly, I was really happy with how the pen show turned out this year. It wasn't perfect. I don't think they solved all the problems from last year, but that didn't mean it wasn't still tons of fun. And there's still, ways of dealing with those issues. But yeah, overall, a great 2024 San Francisco Pen Show. So that is a wrap on another year of the San Francisco Fountain Pen Show. Definitely, I think some of the problems from last year still persisted, but people knew sort of how to deal with them a little more, or at least I'd prepared for them and had them in mind a little more. And so I think overall the show is absolutely fantastic. It's a really, really fun show. Great people. I think it's organized really well, and the variety of vendors is just second to none. There's a reason why they call it the Fun Pen Show, and I definitely had a lot of fun. If you've never been, I would highly recommend it. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to go to some different shows over the next couple years, but the San Francisco Pen Show is truly what I consider to be my home show. I really appreciate it, and I very much anticipate going back next year. So hopefully I'll see you there. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.